The skeletal system, part 2. Going to continue to flex my arm muscles here, and let's get some more stuff about the skeletal system. What we're going to look at today is how the skeletal system works with other systems in your body and how it performs some of its jobs. And the way that we're going to look at that is with the 3 parts that we labeled in the other video. We're going to look a little bit more at those. So go ahead and write skeletal system in the middle of your page, circle it, and get your whole page split up into these 4 sections. And again, if at any point in this video I'm moving a little bit too quickly for you, just pause it, rewind it, get caught up, and then press play again. So the first thing we are going to draw is the skull, which it looks kind of like a mushroom right now, so we'll go ahead and there we go. Now it looks more like a skull. The job of the skull's main job is to protect the brain. So the skull protects the brain. And you can you tap on your head right now, you feel your skull that's doing its job. Without your skull, you'd be poking yourself right in the brain, which would be terrible. So the skull protects your brain. And we've already done, I'm going to move to the next box. We drew a beautiful picture of the rib cage last time in the last bit of notes. And it was just so fantastic. I don't want to really tarnish that beautiful drawing. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. The ribs protect the heart and lungs. So what we're going to do for this drawing is we're actually going to draw the heart and the lungs. We got the heart here. And you can actually feel, if you can kind of hear me tapping my chest. Right in the middle of your chest, you can feel where it's called your sternum, where your ribs kind of connect. So your sternum, right there on your ribs, is what protects your heart, right in the middle of your chest. Your heart goes out to the lungs. And that's why your ribs are shaped like they are. They come down a little bit further on the sides than they do at the front. Like above your hips, your ribs come down lower than they do above your belly button there. And that's because your ribs are shaped to protect your lungs. The other bone that we labeled in the last video was the spine. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, give myself a little more room here. The spine has several jobs. The spine definitely holds the body up. The spine helps support your upper body. That's what really, your head is connected to your spine, your ribs are connected to your spine, so your spine is holding up the upper half of your body. The spine also allows bending, and I'll show you in our drawing that we're going to make in this box here for the spine. You'll see how it allows for bending. And the spine also protects the spinal cord. And the spinal cord, we'll get into that more with the nervous system, but the spinal cord is the main cord of nerves that connects your brain to the rest of your body. So that's like the information system, the information highway for your body. Every movement that you have, everything that your body does gets that information from your brain, and information gets from your brain to the rest of your body through your spinal cord. So your spine is not one long straight bone. Your spine is actually made up of vertebrae, and they are disc shaped. So your spine kind of sits, they look a little bit like this. This is them like stacked up on top of each other. And I'm going to switch to blue here, and we're going to draw kind of like the spinal cord coming out. It actually runs through the middle. So I don't really have a great way to describe it, but your vertebrae looks kind of like a roll of tape or kind of like a donut. So you could run stuff through the middle of it, and that's what happens. Your spinal cord runs through the middle, through the opening in those vertebrae. And having those vertebrae, I'm going to draw, it's going to look like a crooked spine, but I'm just going to show kind of how it allows for bending here. And I do want you to try and draw this as well. So as you're bending, you can see here it looks like it's kind of leaning, but it just, having those several separate bones for the spine, those different vertebrae, that's what lets you lean side to side, front and back. If that was one long bone, you would not be able to do any kind of leaning or bending. And in this last box, we're just going to put another little fact about how the skeletal system works with gotta love when the bell rings. In this last box, we are going to put how the skeletal system works with the muscular system. So muscles attach to bones and allows movement. And I'm not going to draw that right now and get too far into that fact, because the next system that we're going to do is the muscular system, and I don't want to just jump in and throw two systems with you at once, but I do want you to know that bones actually can't move on their own. Bones need the muscles for that movement.